The Modern Jeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Hello, Modern Jeepers. Madsen from Medical here, and welcome to episode 212 of the Modern Jeeper Show. Kinda. Really, this is a Modern Jeeper Replay episode. While the team is in Moab for Easter Jeep Safari, I wanted to share with you one of my personal favorite episodes, episode 13, our sit-down interview with Moab's and every Jeeper's grandpa, Danny Grimes. Originally recorded at the 2019 Easter Jeep Safari, Grandpa shares with us why he moved to Moab and how much it has changed over the years, how the famous and free Grandpa's Garage was started, Grandpa's rules of civility, favorite trails, favorite Jeeps, why they call the trails out here Slickrock, how not to be stupid on the trails, and why there is a pair of burned men's underwear on the wall of the garage. And we even get a pop-in visit from one of our great friends and Modern Jeeper partners. Of course, we have another great tech tip of the week, directly from Grandpa's experience with the thousands who have come through his bay doors, the number one failure of most off-roaders. By the way, this episode was recorded before we started doing video, so while you can listen to it at youtube.com/modernjeeper, the video is just a few cool pics of Grandpa's Garage for context. As always, we're incredibly grateful for this episode to our supporters and friends, including Warren Winches, Raceline Wheels, Best Top, Milestar Tires, Baja Designs, Rugged Radios, Adventure Rack Systems, and of course, Metal Cloak. And friends, truly, if you like this episode, we'd be so grateful if you subscribe to the pod, told your friends about it, and gave us a nice review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Now, sit back, relax with a cold one, and enjoy episode 212 of the Modern Jeeper Show.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, it is here. It's another show. Madsen here, and Mr. Modern Jeeper Corey.
Hey, guys.
This is kind of interesting because we are actually doing this together. Like you're not in some parking lot in the middle of no place.
I'm not in an Arby's parking lot this time. That's true.
The technology has always been great because we're able to do it no matter where we're at and have people call in. But this is kind of cool, actually sitting next to each other.
It's kind of a little bit better than waiting for the delays of, are you done asking that question? Am I okay now? Can I talk? So yeah, this is much better.
Well, and from an audio standpoint, at least we'll all have the same audio this
right.
time, and not a bunch of ups and downs and me being super loud and you being quiet and all the changes and stuff we made. But yeah, so it's pretty cool being here.
Definitely.
And come on, we're in Moab.
We are in Moab for the Easter Jeep Safari. What an amazing week this event has turned into. This is actually my 20th year.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. 20 years. And for me, I think it's year 10. So, you're twice as old as I am.
Right. Yeah. Well, I am getting a little bit grayer over the years for sure.
So 20 years out here. And so, which is interesting because that first 16 years you weren't working with us. And so you're actually out here wheeling.
Right. I mean, that's how
to work every time.
We've had those conversations where I was just an enthusiast. I loved being out wheeling, and it kind of has evolved into how we passionately follow our dreams and our goals. And here we are with this. Has been a dream come true for me to have gone from an enthusiast to now working as part of the industry, and to get to see people that I don't get to see at other events throughout the year. Moab has become that gathering place for sure.
Well, absolutely. It's become such the mecca between the concept Jeeps out here and Jeeps presence. And pretty much, if you're a vendor in the industry and you're not here, you're not really a vendor in the industry. It's just become that.
Absolutely. We're actually in a place that is the gathering center for a lot of the vendors that come to Easter Jeep Safari in Moab. And again, we came out last night and got to run into a lot of people that we typically just don't see at other events. What's nice about Easter Jeep Safari is that it is kind of a vendor-focused event where we all can get together with other people that are in the industry and see each other, whereas a lot of events around the country, it's an enthusiast-driven event where people are spread out. We don't necessarily get to see these folks that are involved as much as we are.
Right. Well, the vendor show here is only 2 days, and everybody's here for at least a week. So a lot of chance to get on the trails. We went on Pritchett yesterday and had a lot of fun. I say we, I mean Metal Cloak did. You and I were busy doing the CTI trailer, which was great. We had the JT on the Gladiator on the CTI trailer. First Gladiator ever on the CTI trailer. And what did it score?
It was actually 650. Rick Payway and his crew came out, and it was nice that they brought us a JT to get up on the trailer. Again, what an amazing vehicle. Jeep continues to do such a good job from their engineering standpoint of developing these vehicles that are truly unique and what the consumer wants.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, the stock jail does 7 something. Which is pretty good because the stock JK, it was in the 500s.
Right.
So it was a huge jump from the stock rig. But then the JT, as you said, is a truck, right?
That's right.
So it's a truck that does 650 out of the box.
Out of the box.
I mean, that's huge. So we know, and I heard that the production run for the JT this first year is like 105,000. I think that's going to be small. I think they're going to sell out of that. I think they're going to go through that quickly. I think they're going to be doing 250,000 run pretty quickly. If you look at the amount of sales that like a Ranger gets or some of that other sport truck market.
Right. I definitely think that the Jeep engineers have done their homework. And as we've watched this JT release and seen people how excited they are for this truck to hit the showrooms and the dealers, it's going to sell well.
Yeah, I think so. The reason we're sitting here right now is we're actually at a very special location. And this has been not only a location that's been important to Easter Jeep Safari over the last how many years you've been doing it, how many years I've been doing it, but also it was even part of our Modern Jeeper adventure that we did. It was the Saturday night event he was kind enough to host. We're at Grandpa's Garage. And Corey, tell us why Grandpa's Garage is so special.
Well, I always tell the same story. I remember a number of years ago when I was actually invited and some folks were coming over to Danny's house, and I felt like it was kind of a privileged thing. And I remember some people saying, hey, can we go out there? And I actually told them, I said, look, this is kind of like I was invited to go. I don't know if I'm allowed to invite other people. And I remember telling the story to Danny, and Danny actually yelled at me, and he said, no, that's not the case. This place is a safe zone for everyone. And what a unique man who's been involved in the industry for a number of years. Has everybody in Moab, anybody that's a wheeler is a friend of Grandpa's Garage. And it's become a pretty special place over the years where it is a safe zone where competitors, wheelers of everyone can come out here, enjoy each other's company, have a drink, and just hang out. It's awesome.
It is. And for those that are listening, there might be noises in the background because we're actually sitting in Danny's garage with our microphone, and they're cleaning up from last night's event because pretty much every night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is an industry event sponsored by special companies who come out, and they're open to other industry members to come in, and it's a great chance for us to just hang out. And we're all friends ultimately, right? We're competitors during the day. At night, we're friends. We're friends on the trail. We talk about being there and supporting each other. And Danny has really been an advocate for that because no BS is allowed in here, right?
That's right. Right.
Well, we're talking about Danny, and Danny is Danny Grimes, the man, the myth, the legend, Grandpa's Garage. I'll let you do the intro.
You're halfway there. Such a dear friend of mine, and has been so supportive of me over the years. Again, this is a place where if you have a broken vehicle and you're in Moab, like the garage is open. You can use tools. There are some parts out here. He asks you, you respect everything. You replace things. But Danny's house has really become a place for it's a safe zone. I don't know how else to put it, and everybody is a friend. Danny Grimes, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Modern Jeeper Show.
You're welcome.
How many years have you been here?
I'm working on my 15th year of living here. First time here was in 1977. Jeep Club. The president of our Jeep Club brought us up here for safari. And then every year
since then.
And then left California, searching the countryside to move. Come through here and just said, to heck with it. I'll just stay right here.
Wow, that was it.
How did the garage evolve? Because I know when you first came here, it wasn't like, I'm going to have this shop and I'm just going to invite everybody out.
Well, when I had to build a garage and while it was being built and everything, I was hanging out at Moab local 4x shop and just hanging around and all that. They had a customer who was watching and paying by the hour to have his vehicle repaired. And in his circle of friends, he was saying, God, if I just had a welder, or I just had a gear puller, or if I had my torque wrench, or I could be fixing my own the way I want. And little birdie says, I got all of that stuff in my garage. It's just there. So I started throwing it out. Hey, if you can fix it yourself, I'm retired. I don't work. So I just started in, and it's not a Jeep only, a Toyota only. I like to say anything off-road or off-pavement. And it has evolved into 4xs. Week after this event is Hot Rods, the car show. And then after that, it's the side-by-sides. And then after that, it's the season. I have bicycles in here getting fixed.
Wow, really?
I have broken trailers with wheel bearings and bent tongues. And it's just...
I had no idea it was that evolved.
It's just year-round. The season starts with safari and it ends at Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And then it's cabin fever time.
Right. Yeah, we all get off the road and yeah.
And are you here all the time? Or because you still travel?
I do take vacations now and then, but I'll say it. I'll put it out there. This place is never locked, and I don't have to be here. If it is locked, they have the phone number. Call me. I'll tell you it's under the big rock next to the trash can or whatever. Clean up after yourself. If it catches on fire, run. It's insured.
There you go. I don't know of any other place in the entire country that is like this. And I guess that's what makes Easter Jeep Safari so special for us, being in the industry. There's nowhere else that is a safe zone. I mean, we all go out at events and we see each other in restaurants and things like that. But there's no place where you can have a gathering of medical folks, Genrite folks, Warren people, all these different manufacturers, and we'll all be gathered around a Jeep in the garage that's being torn apart and worked on, and pitch in and help where we can, and if they need it, pretty.
Well, the vendor nights, how that evolved. I had Jim at Dynatrack, and Brett at the time was Superlift. They came in and Jim says, do you mind if I throw my company party and the get together here? And I questioned him about why. And he said, well, the restaurant or a bar is very expensive. And at 10:30, you got to get out and you're out. And then you got to sit at a table. You got to kind of clean up. And he said, I want to have the opportunity to shake the hand and talk to somebody that I only see on my computer or on my phone. I want to, hey, how can we make it better? You got any glitches? We're relaxed, having drinks and all that and food. So I go, okay. The first 2 years of doing the vendor thing, other vendors jumped in. I said, well, this is not me. You have to call Jim, and he's like, I got something going. No. So then I had to start adding days and all that. But it is a neutral area. If you're having an event here or have your product in here for repair and parts, I ask that if you get a group around, let's say, Tom Woods Drive Shafts. He's got all his parts here for his customers who are here. And I told him, now, if you got 4 or 5 guys standing around your product and all that, and you're talking about your product, that's fine. That's why it's here. But you cannot be saying my product's better than Jim Reel or yada, yada, yada. That's, talk about yours and that's it. But don't badmouth people because Jim Reel may be sitting at a table right beside you.
That's right. That's right.
Well, it's interesting, Corey, you said that though that this is like the only place in the country that you can be this. And it's true as far as location, but it seemed when you were saying that and describing it, it felt like that's the way we are on the trail.
Yes.
It's like here is a sample of we're that way on the trail. We always take care of each other. We will help each other fix no matter what. And it's like you've brought that into your environment. You wanted to have the same culture, the same lifestyle within your building.
Well, I have total strangers come in, and I tell everybody, hey, remember, if you can fix it yourself, you can come here. Also, if you're on a trail and you see somebody broke, it's quite okay to tell them what I just told you. And many, many, many times there'll be a total stranger come up and say, hey, I was on cliffhanger and broke this, and they told me, go to Grandpa's garage. And it's just evolved over the years and years and years. I have this little quirk that was funny, ha-ha for me, and it made me feel good. I made these little Grandpa's Garage stickers, Moab. And I would tell them, I don't charge you, you can do all this stuff, but for me, would you put my sticker on your vehicle? I said, put it on the glass so you can go around the corner and scrape it off. It just makes me feel good. And it has evolved into now, I got stickers in every state in the union and 7 countries.
Wow.
And it's evolved into the people who want to be part of the program and the industrial. They'll come over and drive in the garage and air up the tires and ask for my sticker. I want Grandpa's Garage sticker.
Well,
That's
I know
awesome.
all the traveling that I do all the way across the country, it's always nice because I'll run into a Jeeper it's got Grandpa's Garage sticker on it, and I know right away this is probably somebody that I can have a conversation with, and we're like long lost friends. So yeah, there's that camaraderie for sure.
Well, I've also gotten feedback. Somebody walks up to his vehicle and goes, "What'd you break in Moab?" And they'll go, "How'd you know I broke and it was in Moab?" Because the only way you get that sticker is to work on your vehicle in Grandpa's Garage.
And I want to take a moment and kind of describe this place, because I noticed we're sitting here looking around. You just can't help but not just look at. And the room we're in, it's probably it's about 30 by 30.
20 by 30.
20 by 30 room. And it is eclectic. I mean, it has photos all over the place. It has banners. It has it has hoods and grills that have been gifted to Danny by Jeep, and
one-off stuff.
One-off stuff.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that everything here, if it's a photo, if it's a banner, if it's one of these, they have signatures on them.
Yes.
And I remember coming to you like, oh, how do I get a banner up? And that was your rule. It's like, you can do it, but you've got to sign it for me, right? And with the hoods and the grills, and like, we'll try to take some photos of these and post them in the show notes so you can really get an idea. But they are signed. They're usually gifted over to you on one of these nights, like last night's event, and signed by everybody there. And I don't think there's a negative word up there. And if you just start reading these signatures, it shows just the amount of love and admiration and respect that this community has for you.
Well, to help understand, everything you see, and there's thousands of things to look at here, I did not gather them up. They were brought to me. Everybody likes to tag the garage. So a lot of the stuff after the event, I'll grab a drink or a cold drink or something and walk around and go, oh, that sticker wasn't there. Or, oh my gosh, who hung this up here? It's just a free reign advertising thing. You got to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got to see it. We'll take some photos and show, but it's cool because you have photos up here that have got to be 20 plus years old, old rigs, new stuff, and then that's just the office, or what you consider like the foyer or the main area for it, where the bathroom stuff's at. You go into the main shop, which is a 2-bay door shop. It's got plenty of room. There's industry banners up there. Like we have one that we hung up a few years ago, but what we were doing, I think it was the 50th anniversary year, and we had this T-shirt we were giving away at the CTI trailer, and I required everybody who got a T-shirt to sign it. So they were all signed it. So we brought it here and presented it. So it's signed by just general attendees, Eastern Jeep Safari. And it's just, it's cool because you come here and you feel like, wow, you're sitting. Everything here has a story, and if I could just take 3 or 4 or 5 days, I might learn them all.
Right.
It's pretty incredible.
Well, the pictures, regular photos, had a friend that was a camera buff, and he printed them out. They're stapled to the wall all over, and one day I was saying, I need to get these down, and they've been up there for years. Everybody in the room is, no. I come back every year and look for my photo. And then he goes, boy, I was really drinking that night. And why am I kissing that woman?
That is a woman, right?
Wait, can we get rid of that evidence now?
Yeah.
I was actually sitting here looking around and going, you know what? I remember when that hood was brought in.
Yeah.
I think I've got a signature on a couple of those, and
Yeah.
it's I living those memories, even for me to come here and go, oh yeah, I remember that night, and who I talked to and the conversations we've had over the years. It's definitely one of the most unique places on the planet for an off-roader.
Well, back to the photo thing, I had a really ha-ha moment. There was a picture of a man and a woman married, and it was there for years. And after safari, I happened to walk by, and he was tore out of the picture. So I called her and I go, hey, what's up? We're divorced. And then when he came and she didn't, the picture disappeared.
Gone entirely.
It was funny.
When did this place? So, what year was it that you actually decided to open this up to the public?
06, I think.
06?
Maybe 5.
Wow. And so here we are. It's 2019. So it's 13 years. 13 years, maybe 14 years of people coming through here. A quick guesstimate: how many vehicles you think have been through here?
Well, in 2017, I had a little check area, and I would kind of do a head count, check. For the year was 2,700 people.
27 in 1 year.
In 1 year.
Wow. Wow. That's
So you multiply that by 13 years, and you think some years are probably a little bit busier than others, and how it's grown. We're talking about 30,000 plus rigs.
Yeah, have been through here.
Now you got to understand that's not 4x or Jeeps or Toyotas.
Right, anyway.
Right.
This is from bicycles to
Well, I know
concept.
we've been out here for large dinners. You've had catering companies come out here and put on full-blown, nice sit-down meals, and everything from that to paper plates, and grab a burger and some chips and have a beer. I mean, it's
the rental companies here. They all know me. They've been here and all that. Sometimes they'll have large corporate groups or just large groups rent all their Jeeps, and they'll take them out and they'll go, hey, we want to flip some burgers and hot dogs and have a beer and everything, and they'll bring all of that out here and do it.
I remember having deep fried gator here, and
when Superlift was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was gumbo, catfish, alligator, all
That's
of
awesome.
that. And they cooked it themselves right here.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Wow, bringing it
In
all.
fact, one of the guys, they love to get on that committee and volunteer to cook and stir and serve, because they would get, okay, you got 2 weeks. We're going to have alligator. You got 2 weeks paid. Go fishing, go hunting.
go get some alligator.
Go get all
Well,
that.
they got their own. Wow.
Yeah, they'd go trap it, shoot it, or and prepare it.
Dang, that's why it was so good. It was fresh.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like, alligator out of a bag. Yeah, no, I remember doing it. I was like, and then, of course, looking forward to that. And then I think the next year, Superlift was gone, and we were down to
sold. Yeah.
we were down to burgers or something. But it's just the joy of being here. But let's start talking Jeeps. This is the Modern Jeeper Show, and let's go back. Let's go back in Danny Grimes' history. What was your first Jeep? When did you have it? What was it?
48 flat fender.
Is it up there?
Up in the very corner at the door.
Okay.
I used to ride bikes, motorcycles. Got tired of going back and starting them. Went to dune buggies, so I get it all together. I was looking for a family experience. So I joined Cal Four Wheel, and I had meetings every month, and the association and all that, more family type stuff around the campfire. And over the years, I got to see the friends' kids grow up, learn how to play the guitar sitting by the fireplace, and sing and all that stuff. Of course, now they're grown, got their own families.
Right.
So I kind of feel the grandpa thing was named from my granddaughter. She always wanted to go to Grandpa's garage. And at my age now, I feel I'm a grandpa to the off-road world.
You are. Oh, I knew you as Grandpa long before I even knew what your first name was.
I've had that situation too. Somebody else say, "What is your name?" I've been calling you Grandpa for 20 years. What is your name?
So, what did you? Did you keep it stock? What did you do to your first Jeep?
Little flat fender, Buick V6. Oh, the big 11-inch brake thing. You had to change that over, and then of course, raising a family and working, it had Lincoln lockers in it. The old C-Pec tires. All the just. Way back, and in my day, if you purchased a Jeep and you wanted to alter it, you had to do it yourself. There's no going online or opening a magazine and that kind of stuff.
The whole aftermarket. I mean, back then there was only a handful. Warren was one of the first aftermarket.
I used to wheel with Warren down in P4W down in Phoenix and all that. But it was quite cool to have the camaraderie. Everybody looked at everybody's vehicle to get ideas.
Right.
You know, they didn't sit and flip it online or go to the magazines. I want this and that and that and that and that.
And I mean, the biggest was Peterson's around. What was the biggest off-road magazine at the time?
Man, I don't know, Corey.
I can't. I don't know. I mean,
I don't even know if there was a mainstream back when we got started.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean,
I'd have to think about
like
that.
old four-wheeler and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know what year those even came about. That's an interesting question.
You'd have to talk to Payway.
There you go.
Well, he's on our for Modern Jeepers. He's on our target list. We hope maybe we'll be able to get an interview with him while we're here. So then you had how long did you have that Jeep for?
Oh, probably about 5 years.
5 years.
The thing with my vehicles disappear by. I want that and over a beer, and I went home many times on an empty trailer. They just catch that. And
wow. So then what did you follow it up with?
I went to Jeepsters.
Oh, nice.
4-seaters.
Yeah.
Room in the back.
How many kids? Because how many kids you have? None. Okay, so it was just all it was.
Yeah. The granddaughter is, to help you understand where it is my wife's, at the time, son.
Okay.
And the granddaughter attached to me, and so that's how that went down. But back to the Jeepsters, I could put 4 people in it. I could take the seat out, put my motorcycle in the back. I could sleep in the back.
Wow.
And then as things went along, then I got into the scramblers and all that kind of stuff.
So you kept it with the big ones, and then since I've known you, you've had the red and chrome one, which that was what year was that rig? That was pretty much the
that was pretty recent.
Yeah.
So I built that for a customer and then bought it back and made my own version of it.
Right. And what was the base on that? Was that a CJ or
that particular vehicle? The only thing OME on it was the steering column and the grill. Everything was handmade, custom made, aftermarket stuff. But it was a CJ6, a Bob CJ6.
Okay.
And I was in California. I found an old CJ6 that had a title and VIN number. So it was registered as a 1966 CJ6.
Huh. I did not know that.
But when I sold it, people would go, "Oh, I'm going down to the bank or the credit union. I'll be right back." And they come back. 1966. They'll give me $500. I wanted like $100,000.
Right.
And then it just evolved, like everybody else.
What was your favorite Jeep you've ever owned?
I can't say that because you'd have to ask me, what's your favorite trail?
That's one of our favorite questions.
And I would say,
whatever you're on.
where are we going?
Yeah.
Right.
In fact, when I moved here, I brought a lot of Jeeps with me, and I'd be downtown, and people go, "Hey, we're going out wheeling, come on." And I'd say, "Well, where are you going?" And they'd tell me, and I go, "I'll be right back. I'm in the wrong Jeep."
Yeah, you gotta switch rigs.
That makes sense.
And also, what you value at 25, 55, 30, 50, 60, and now into the 70s, I look back like, what the hell was I thinking?
I think we all do that a little bit, and it is interesting. We all look for that one vehicle that can do everything, but that's just not realistic. We try to modify things to be that all-around thing, but technology changes. Our own personal desires and passions change about where we want to go and what we want to do. So
and you have the opportunity to move around the United States. What works good in Moab don't work in the swamp.
That's very true. That's very true. Do you have a favorite trail here in Moab?
Moab Rim. I'm really feeling ornery and want to beat up on something, Pritchard.
Yeah. That seems those are two definitely of the most popular trails here for sure.
But living here as long as I have, I'm now into I wonder where this dirt road goes. I wonder what's up that road. Or in the book, I'll see an article or something. Let's go see that. And mostly that comes from like living in Disneyland. How many times can you
ride
the cup and saucer?
Right.
That's something different.
And so Moab itself, since you've been here so long, you guys have been coming out for so long, how has it evolved as far as trails? I mean, and this is something that I honestly don't know, is there's, I don't know, say just roundabout number, there's 20, 30, 40 trails out here. How many trails were there 20 years ago? How do new trails get developed out here, and how does that happen? And what's it like for...
Well, the trails here were developed by the miners looking for uranium. And the term Slickrock scares everybody. And the term Slickrock came from horseshoes and wagon wheels back when this got going. To kind of answer your question, of course, the trails are getting wider, equipment's getting better, and more people. And the side-by-side industry is... I'm a four-wheeler.
Right.
But everybody... It's kind of like when I was in California, everybody had sand buggies. Right. Well, when the three-wheelers come out, there were bees all over.
That's right.
And jet skis. They're a pain in the ass on the river with powerboats.
Right.
But the BLM and the forestry and everything and the counties, they keep a pretty good handle on stay on trail and all that good stuff. And people that come here first time complain, well, why can't I go climb here and climb there? I said, could you realize what our beautiful land would look like if 50,000 people could go anywhere?
Right.
It would just destroy the countryside. So
you say you've been on every trail that's out here?
yes.
And how many are there? About, Corey?
What do you think? There's the schedule for the safari. Probably 30. And they're not even using all of them.
Right. That's
and
involved.
The other thing too, these trails out here, you have to share with motorcycles, bicycles, side-by-sides, the hikers, the rappel. So you got to be really careful when you get here. You're not the only one here.
It was interesting. We saw that at ModernJeeper Adventures because for me, Moab has always been just Eastern Jeep Safari. It's a 14-hour drive. We come out here. We're here for a week. We go back. But when we did ModernJeeper Adventures, Memorial Weekend, which is coming up again, Memorial Weekend, it was the first time I was here with the rest of the Moab community. So you do have that experience of riding a trail and stopping because there might be mountain bikers cutting across that trail on their trail, or going down. I think we were heading down the road towards Poison Spider, and you got a bunch of guys rappelling and climbing off the rocks along that road, which is beautiful, right? So you start seeing a totally different community here. It's not just about the Jeepers. It's not just about the off-roaders. It's this love of the outdoors that's brought together into this town.
And I've experienced, let's say, Hell's Revenge Park area. Find somebody that'll stop me and say, hey, somehow I lost my water bottle. Can I get a bottle of water? And they're on a bicycle, or everybody keeps, or they'll fall down or bend a wheel. I've carried many of them, tied them with spare, and bring them out.
I'm just kind of reminiscing and thinking back over the years of how it has changed. Whereas now, we have to deal with so many even permitting issues for us to have events, even for us to take pictures now and be able to use them from a business standpoint. We have to have permits to take our pictures. Just the size of Moab in the last 10 years has grown so much. It's a bucket list place for all the Jeepers to at least experience once. People come here, they fall in love with it, they want to buy property here, they want to live here, they want to experience that year round. Just the amount of hotels that have come up in the last couple
since
of years.
the state started advertising the Mighty Five, that's 5 national parks here, Moab is no longer what it used to be. It is a destination from all over the world. I mean, you go into City Market, you hear so many languages and dresses and their lifestyle, what they eat, what they buy, and all that kind of stuff. It's a hub now.
And it's got to be interesting for you being here so long that you're seeing that evolution. We come out every once a year. It's like, well, the difference between 2015 and 2016 was it 16 and 17 was like 8 hotels, or all of a sudden 8 new hotels built up in a year, and all the campgrounds being purchased and turned into hotels, and other vacant land being turned into hotels. In Sacramento, I can drive down our freeways and I see billboards that are up about visiting Moab, and so it's got to be that way everywhere.
Well, also I have over all the years living here, somebody will come here and fall in love with it. I'm going to move here. And I have to tell them, bring money.
Yeah, right.
The wage and the lifestyle is so much lower. If you got a skill, you're pretty good, like air conditioning, electrician, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but you're not going to make $60, $70 an hour.
Right.
But it's not going to cost you that much to live here.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a... It's very similar to western slope of Colorado where I live, where it's a beautiful place to live, but people want to move there. They don't understand that the job market, it's not like a big city type environment. Not a lot of corporate industry,
Right.
Well, there's a lot of growth to the county of the south, right? There's a lot of housing down there in order to handle some of the low wage workers that are coming in and working in the hotels. And
yeah, we're struggling, the city and county. We can't have a major chain hotel come in and expect to work 50 crew. They can't afford the wage level to the tourist prices. So now, before you get a permit to build something really large, you have to build employee housing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
Where are they doing that?
There's a 6-month moratorium on building anything overnight stay now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was just leaps and bounds and like a gold rush. And finally the city and county said, okay, we got to stop. We got to rethink this. We got to get a plan. We're going to do it organized and all that. And what you were referring to south is the next county. Within the next 5 years, there's going to be 6,000 people in a housing addition out there.
Wow.
So now we got to think about our water supply, natural gas, sewer, traffic,
all of that
just
infrastructure.
all that. Because in that county, the county seat is 50 miles away.
Wow.
So our officials have come to their senses or whatever. Let's stop. We got to do this plan.
We got to think this out a little bit.
Wow.
And they're doing a great job. Used to be they'd have a meeting on Wednesday night, not tell anybody, make all these plans and rules. Well, the locals would just have a fit.
I'll bet. I'll bet.
So now they take a plan. It probably takes 6 months of meetings with the local input and opinions.
Wow. So jumping around like we do, back to the trails.
Yep.
So you're out here. You've been on how many trails have you been on, Corey?
Oh, I think I've been on
Pretty much all of them.
Pretty much the ones that are offered during Easter Jeep Safari by Red Rock Four Wheelers. That's a pretty large selection of stuff, and there's definitely something for everyone. Everything from a dirt road to extreme, like Danny mentioned, like Pritchett Canyon and Moab Rim and some of the tougher stuff. We the private property south of town, a lot of people ask about area BFE that people are familiar with or have been familiar with over the years. That landowner is actually going through a phase of wanting to change things out there. And so that area is no longer open right now. And it was some of the most extreme stuff in the area. It was a giant playground, basically, for Jeepers to go. Hopefully, he gets that figured out and that area becomes open again. But no, Moab's definitely got a plethora of trails.
That area you're referring to is private property, and you can just run wild. You think you can do it? Do it. Where on our trails here, you got to stay on trail. It's going to be developed, and it's coming around, but it's going to take a year and a half to do the infrastructure and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I always had fun out there because it was just, you definitely had a wide variety of trails in that area. And again, it was fun because you could sit there and watch guys just doing stuff. And
crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And the BLM and forestry and all that, they're realizing that it's getting too congested here and dangerous. So they're opening up more land in that county to kind of spread us all out a little bit. Get them, so you don't have a 52-inch tire, 900 horsepower meeting at the top of a hill on a bicycle.
Right.
They
don't like that.
So, and I asked a question before, but does anybody ever actually go out and develop new trails on the public lands, or is there something like the Red Rock four-wheelers work on, or is it just that the trails we have now are the trails we're going to have for the next 20 years?
There's such a long jump through the hoops to develop new trails. The locals, the clubs, and everybody, we spend a lot of time cleanup, improvement. We have the winners, we've been in culverts, we've blocked this, and it's a year-round job just to maintain what we have in the county.
So talk about that, because we hear about that. Obviously, where we're from, Cal for Wheel, most trails have a club that have adopted the trail or the area and maintain that. Is that the same thing the Red Rock four-wheelers do out here, or?
The Red Rock four-wheelers is one club. We have Friends of Four-Wheeling is another club.
Okay.
We have Salt Lake has a club. Grand Junction has a club. And we rely on BLM, Forestry, and Department of Interior. Like, we got 5 culverts, and they're washed out. That is their club event. This is a work day. Let's come up here, and one guy will go, yeah, I got a backhoe, I got a skid steer. We go in there and knock out a damn job in one day, where it would take them a week or whatever. They they don't have the resource.
Right.
But as far as new trails, it's quite a circus to get one to open up.
So, but there has been trail closures over the years.
How that does to erosion, the plants and all that is closed to let it
regenerate.
And then the land moves. We have flood. We have rock falls and crashes, and sometimes we can't move the mountain.
Right.
So then we have to deal with that.
And
that's where you get the new trail, all closed trails and all that.
Yeah, it's and I've only been on a handful of the trails out here, and generally it's been with organized runs during each Jeep Safari. I think we've done we did a Metal Cloak run out here. Gosh, was that 2011? I think our third year in, and did it out here. We did that mashed potatoes, and that was a lot of fun with Clifton, of Poison Spider fame, and did a few runs, but. Ever since 2014, I haven't had a chance to run, so it's been fun.
Referring back to the closure, it's usually an area that get closed. Single track motorcycle will cut off up through this dirt, and then somebody else cut through. Then our winters come, the water starts running down, disturbs the crust on top, and the wind blows the sand away. And there's areas where, okay, I'm in a razor, I'll go up, and then the Jeepers go, well, that looks like a trail, I'll go up. And then pretty soon we got a ditch that nobody can get up.
Right.
Or that's how things get closed. Off trail closes trails.
That's right. Well, and that's kind of important out here because, and you can probably talk to this better I can, but when we had Modern Jeeper Venture, we had an observer with us because we had a media permit, right? You have an observer comes out and BLM observer to make sure and kind of make sure everybody's doing stuff right. But one of the things that was most important was this crust.
Yes.
This crust that just takes years, hundreds of years to develop.
Billions. It's some kind of yada bionic.
Cryptobiotic.
We'll have
it's
links
a
on the
fungus.
Yep.
That is where, when the world was being created, where it started. And from there is how we got trees, bushes, grass, and all that. And when you step on it or run on it, it's millions of years to just destroy it. It's gone.
And you wouldn't know, it's just this little crust, but it's there. And this is for our modern Jeepers, and many of our modern Jeepers and our fans are new to the Jeeping, and we try to teach them what we can. But when you're going to places, it is important to stay on the trail. There are some places, Sand Hollow, there are no trails, right? And it's just a different world. But when you're out here, there are trails here for a reason. And it's because of the evolution of wanting to maintain the love and the beauty of the area for everybody.
Well, you can have, you pull up and stop, take a 10-100 and walk 10 feet out into that stuff. You're crushing millions of years of
growth.
It'll never,
That's right.
It'll never come back. Just walking.
Wow. That's right.
So, and there's plenty of educational material around. Take the time to get the brochure. Oh, that's what that looks like, and that's what that is.
That is one of the things about Moab. It's become such a hub that there's a lot of literature out there for people coming out here that are new and have never been here before. Pick up one of the guidebooks. Go downtown is a plethora of information.
Information center.
You bet.
Downtown is amazing too. It's we've seen the evolution, but the restaurants, the quality of food, it's not as much about the little. I think 10 years ago it was a lot more of those little stores selling the $10 T-shirts, and now it's really kind of evolved to just these. And you can speak to the seasons out here, but we were talking to some of the employees at restaurants now that seem to be that there's not really an off season anymore.
No,
it's just going year round.
Yeah, it's not like rush hour LA. It's just rush hour all the time. But it's a little insight to the locals is we have no left turn season.
No left turn. Yep, you
You
hear that a lot.
You'll set through 10 lights trying to make it. You got to figure out how to go around the block and catch a light.
Right.
And then when I was here, the snowbird, living in California, the snowbird thing been registered to me.
Right.
And I asked somebody, what is the snowbird thing? And he goes, well, it's the old gray, out of season, everything's on sale. Everybody from the north is headed to Phoenix.
The south. That's right.
All of that, they're coming through. What was I have a friend has a bumper sticker, and this is going to sound crude. It's just a joke.
Sure.
The bumper sticker says, "If it's tourist season, why can't we shoot them?"
Right. Open tourist season. Why not?
Open tourist season. As a local, though, I mean, how often do you go downtown? How often do you go to the restaurants down there? Are the prices there touristy prices, or do you think they're actually good? Good prices for everybody.
Well, they used to be seasonal. I think some of the hotels they have a winter rate, summer rate, that type of stuff. It's turned into it's a tourist. They're going to make their money.
A lot of people always say, when's the best time to go to Moab? And I say, well, anytime that it's not snowing or raining, or the wind's blowing. And a lot of people come out here for Easter Jeep Safari. They get kind of frustrated because there are so many people in town during this week. And I always tell them, if you want to go out there and enjoy yourself and be able to go out on a trail and eat at a restaurant, not stand in a long line, don't come during Easter Jeep Safari. Yet, if you're a Jeeper, you've got to kind of experience Easter Jeep Safari week because of all of that. So it's definitely a trade-off.
And this year, periodically, they line up. Easter Jeep Safari, 60,000 people in town, and it falls on spring break.
Right.
And it's
that much more.
Yeah. But it's getting better. It's just you learn to deal with it. And to answer your question about going downtown, I mean, I'm 8 miles from the center of town, and we're down there quite a bit, and lunch and dinners, and friends always want to go out, and the gas and the groceries. Right. It's a normal living thing. I'm just 8 miles out.
Yeah. it's interesting because we've kind of tried to discover new places too, because we have our habits, right? We come out here, we got to go to Pasta J's, we got to do Zach's, you got to do
The brewery.
Yeah, that's the first place we went to Sunday when we arrived. Dropped off the trailers, went to the brewery. You got to do the Moab Diner, but like yesterday, we went and had breakfast at the Peace Tree.
Yeah,
Drove by the diner. The diner had a huge line of people outside, of course, and went down to the Peace Tree. That was great. It was
Branding Iron is a few blocks from me. Across the other side of the highway, the Hidden Cuisine. Great food, plenty of it. Not cheap, but not
reasonable prices.
Right, out big.
And how I've never been to the Branding Iron. How's the Branding Iron?
Excellent.
Okay.
And of course, the LDS Church and all that. If you want a drink or a cocktail before or a beer with, you kind of look for the restaurants that have the licensing and stuff like that. A lot of them are. I don't know about the Peace Tree. Can you order a beer? They have a liquor license.
Well, we went for breakfast. I didn't really pay attention. I don't know if they had it
I
or
don't
not.
think so.
Yeah, and the Utah, just to help you understand if you're haven't been here, is they have signs. You're either a bar or you're a restaurant. And there's different rules for each. Like a bar, you don't have to buy food to get a drink. You go to a restaurant, you got to buy food to get a drink.
So the Moab Brewery obviously is a bar. You can go in and
It's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So,
and if you remember now, I haven't been down there.
so you have to. If you go to the bar, you can't just order a beer.
You can't sit in the restaurant area and drink a beer.
But you go to the bar section.
If you just want a beer or try their microbrews, you got to sit in this area.
Okay, right. And then they have a little cubicle on the side where you can actually buy a bottle or something.
Yes.
And take them. But what are the rules about? Because I think hasn't changed like what the alcohol content can be.
Well, the state of Utah is got all control over alcohol. They are going to have to, and I think they've already done it. They're just going to have to turn a blind eye. A good way to understand it really quick is you cannot buy Coors Light, Budweiser, Miller, all the name brand beers at the state liquor store.
Right.
Because state liquor store, 5%, it's liquor. So you have to buy the malts and the microbrewery and all that. And if they do have it, it's unrefrigerated. The Coors Light and the Bud and all that stuff, it's warm.
So if you buy it, so that's available at City Market?
Yes.
Okay.
Gas stations.
Okay.
Local, there's a beer and wine license, and then there's a liquor license.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk, I know recently, that Utah's looking at, there's some, they're wanting to change some of that, and it's always been a matter of how we measured the alcohol content in a beer, whether it's alcohol by weight or alcohol by volume. And I know in Colorado we still had a lot of 3.2% availability in grocery stores, but you couldn't get full strength beers. You had to go to a liquor store. So,
and what has forced this is the major Coors Light, Bud, and all that. They go, this is a hassle.
Right, it's
We're
ridiculous.
just going to stop making it.
You're right.
And that's what happened. And they just stopped making it. And you guys deal with it.
You guys figure it out because we have this specific brew has to be less alcohol by volume or weight, and that's what can be sold at a grocery store. So then they're having to split up their entire warehouses with two separate.
Well, when I visited and got a tour at Moab Brewery years ago when I was doing my beer festival in Sacramento, and I came out here and talked to the owner, or probably one of the owners, and he gave us a tour, and he had just got his canning system. And back in his warehouse, he had pallets and pallets and pallets of cans that he was ready to start running through his canning system. But he had two separate designs and two separate cans. One was for the local sale, and one he was hoping to export, like to California and other states. And so it was he had to have two different cans because they had two different designs for the different alcohol content.
Well, I'd like to, because we're on the adult beverage thing, get back to adult beverages and our trails.
Yes, please.
Okay. National Parks, BLM, and Department of Interior and all that. When you're in this land out here, you might as well be going roaring down the LA freeway. Open container. A beer in the car where the driver can reach. The old, oh, I flipped my buggy in the hot tubs and blah, 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 and and you're bragging about it. You're on federal land. Mm-hmm. You left a scene of an accident. You might as well just figure you are on a freeway, or you flopped it, or it's upside down. Got to be careful. You got to just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
And in most of the trails out here, let's create a scenario. We got a ranger sitting across the wash over there. We pull up. Somebody's got a air up a tire or whatever. Everybody pops a beer and you stand around drinking and okay, we're ready to go again. We throw it down, get in our vehicle and drive off. The guy over there with binoculars, you're drinking and driving. That's
a no. Absolutely.
Remember, come here on vacation, don't go home on probation.
That's right. I've actually been, this was a number of years ago, been on a trail with Red Rock four-wheelers during Easter Jeep Safari, and there was two rigs that were not a part of our group, and I think we were up on Poison Spider Mesa, as I recall. The sheriff showed up. Those two rigs were drinking on the trail noticeably as the group went by, and they actually flew in a helicopter, landed it there, and wrote citations to these folks. Sheriffs got out of the helicopter and wrote those citations. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, it's just smart. I mean, modern Jeepers, you're out there, you're wheeling. It is not smart to be wheeling when you're drinking. I don't care where it is, whether it's allowed or not. It's dangerous. Unfortunately, we all probably have known people who have been injured. I know somebody who died because of, you can't say it was because of that, but drinking was involved. And it's just stupid to be out there doing something that is already inherently dangerous and then adding alcohol or liquid courage to the action because it's liquid stupidity.
Well, if we set aside the alcohol thing, also the off-trail, I can't mention the person's name, well-known, big-time competitor builder. And I don't think there's a hat big enough to fit his head. But we had an instance where I bet, blah, blah, can't make that. And it's off-trail. He heard it. Up, down, come back, ha, 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 and all that stuff. Here come a little side-by-side around the corner, and he goes, come here. Back then it was $450. I think it's $750 now.
Wow.
It's a ticket. Off trail.
Fine.
Yeah. And his head got bigger and his fur stood up on the back of his neck, and he got 3 of them in one bowl.
Nice. Yeah.
So don't think you got it in your way. Hell's Revenge is a perfect example. You can't outrun that radio.
That's right.
License number, description, and how many people, and what color your T-shirt is. You'll come out that check station. They'll go, hold on.
Stop right here for a second.
Sign this, and here's your ticket.
Yeah, we got something for you. A souvenir to take with you.
Yeah.
I noticed what's interesting driving around here, though. There's a lot of the vehicles, the police vehicles, the sheriff, the local, other than the state trooper that has the obvious, beehive logo on the side. A lot of unmarked. Yesterday we had a guy get pulled over across from our CTI trailer at Arches Repair Center, and he got pulled over by a sheriff's truck, right? And he got pulled. 2 cars behind him got pulled in. It was a Dodge Charger and another truck. Both were unmarked.
Well, that comes during the season. 50, 60,000 people. Were overwhelmed with. Ding-dongs.
And Moab has some interesting laws regarding mud flaps covering the rear of the vehicle and things like that. But you know what? I tell people that want to come out here, if you behave, if you act like an outstanding citizen when you're driving, you don't drive crazy. This isn't Disneyland downtown. It's actually a highway that runs through town and with a lot of traffic on it. If you drive like a real person, you're not going to get hassled. But if you come down here and you act like you own the place, that's a problem.
Well, we've got together as locals and got the laws changed here in Utah. In the garage, complaining about the mud flaps and tires covered and what the law was and all that. And this person popped up and says, well, let's just change the law. And I go, let me know how that works out for you.
Right.
Well, 2 weeks later, he's in here. Hey, I need a couple $1,000. We got a lobbyist. We got this, and we got lawyers, and they jumped through the hoops and everything.
Oh wow!
And now, thankfully for the side-by-sides, open wheel, no mud flaps, bought that way, and they couldn't run on the street. And anyway, it's worked out now. You can register your buggy with if it's got a small license plate on it. A small license plate is different rules and restrictions to a full-size license plate.
Okay.
You will see a full-blown rock crawler with a small license plate.
Oh wow!
He operates under a different rule book than one that has a big license plate.
Now, what does it take to get that? If somebody's coming here from back east or whatever, and he wants to come wheeling out here, can he get a temporary license plate?
Yes, it's not no. You can't register another sometimers. Some states, they recognize their off-road. Let's say California, we call it a green sticker.
Right.
And right now there's a confusion, a war over we don't recognize Colorado. So Colorado says, well, up yours, we won't recognize yours in our state.
Wow.
But if you do come here, and you can go down for $17 to one of the local gas stations or a rental company or the information center and show them your ID, registration, driver's license, and it's good for, I think, 30 days, there's a time period. But you will get pulled over without that sticker on there if you're out of state, out of country, that kind of stuff.
Interesting. So you can still come out here with your toys and get permission locally, just little fees.
Red Rock four-wheeler magazines, it's all in there. It's explained, and the liquor laws are explained in there. Red Rock four-wheelers do a tremendous job of getting the information out.
But like if you have a Samurai,
depends on which plate you put on it.
Oh, just because of mud
I can
flaps.
give a perfect example with the what do we call them, truggies, where they take the bed off and exocage it and all that.
Right.
I was in one of my Jeeps, and we'd stopped, had a fuel pump problem, and we were in a group. Well, here come a BLM officer up, which I didn't know, and he come to see my Jeep. It's big red, all aluminum. He's admiring, I'm explaining to him, we're just talking, and what's the problem? Oh, they're fixing their... And he walks over and looks at this truggy, and there's no license plate, no permit, no... So he started in, pulled the book out, and he was very professional. He said, well, we got two ways we can do this. I can impound the vehicle, or I can cite your driver's license number, which in this part of the country you get points for tickets and all that, and you get to a certain number, you lose your license. So the story behind it was he had just bought it and hadn't registered it, and it was all illegal.
Wow.
So he turned to the guy that was getting the ticket or impounded or whatever. He says, now I can give you an opportunity off the book. I notice you got a woman with you. You don't drive, and I will let her drive this out of here, but get the hell out of here. Or I'm going to impound, or you'll get a ticket.
Wow.
Go get a sticker.
Interesting.
So they're not all here to kill us.
Right.
I mean, rules are rules, laws are laws.
That's right.
And that was a perfect example of, he didn't open ice chest. Nobody cracked a beer. They weren't standing around. We just had a mechanical problem, and he wanted to see the Jeep.
Nice.
So when the officers pull up, don't get mad, don't get argumentative. They're there to do. They're either trying to help or safety concern, things like that.
Well, you're right. They have so much more. I know that last year I run into a couple of BLM guys at a sandwich shop the other end of town, and I offered to buy them lunch. Like, hey, I'll take care of this for you. But they were so appreciative of what they were doing. And I didn't want it. They were fine. They have a budget for it and all
they
that. But
have rules.
And they have rules. But they were imports. You know, they were from someplace else. They're here for 2 weeks or whatever it was, just to support and you said, there's 50,000 people out here this week, and so many rigs and so many Jeeps and so many people on the trails, that influx of people from all over the region, and they all appreciate this. I mean, this is their lives. They're part of the lifestyle as well. They're not here to just.
That's right.
They're not just here to stop you from having fun. They're here to make sure that everybody's safe.
Well, back to that sticker thing. I think it is Alabama. There's a state back east that side-by-sides, quads, recreational stuff, you go in and buy it, all you get's a sales receipt.
Right, yeah.
You don't
they're
get
not
a title,
vehicle. Right.
It's not registered or anything.
Wow.
Well, I had a group come up here like that, and they all run down there to get their permit, and where's the registration?
Yeah, we don't have registration. Right?
You're like, whoa, what the hell are we
Yeah, how do
doing?
you know you own it? Oh, I got to bill a sale. Okay.
So what do they do? How do that?
They didn't get one, and they luckily just went ahead and went, and nobody got caught.
Interesting. Yeah, that's luck, but don't always depend on your luck, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
it is a good thing. I would hate for somebody to steal something of mine and no idea or proof of it's gone.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
know it's yours.
And Colorado is like that, where I've got a UTV that I use to plow snow in my driveway, but there's no title to that. And I know with theft of snowmobiles and things like that, it used to be a big deal because those are not titled quote unquote vehicles. So when they're gone, they're kind of gone. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too, it gets stolen. The guy stole it and sold it,
Right.
and no proof of anything.
Nothing.
Even if they steal it and scrape the sticker off, when they go to put their sticker on, it may not be at the moment, but weeks later when they have time, they go, hey, that's a stolen VIN number here. And
Right.
we
This
got it.
number is not. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good and bad.
For sure.
So you turned on something here in the garage that we were looking at, and we'll show a picture on the Modern Jeeper page. But there's this Coors sign up here, and it's all neon blue and pretty and white. And underneath it in neon red, it has Grandpa's Garage.
In neon.
How did you get that? What's the deal
It
with that?
was a Coors team building outing, and they had rented one of the local Jeep renters. They had 6 or 8 Jeeps, and during the process, the rental owner said, "Hey, we want to come out, campfire, got barbecue. We'll flip some burgers and drink some beer and sit around and give these people a camp out atmosphere." And after it's all said and done, like I said, everything is brought here, and they wanted to tag the garage.
Nice.
And they tagged it with that sign. BF Goodrich, I have another one, I'll turn that on, they can get a picture of that. And then you'll see all the other stuff. It's just people that tag.
Is it?
Everywhere from major corporations to the little guy that signs the back of the door here. Thank you. Da-da-da-da.
I think that was our first thing here was our Hex decal with a little signature on it. It was the very first thing on our door, and I felt so proud that I was tagging this iconic place. And and then in fact, right above your head is was the next banner that actually was brought out here by Randy Avery when he came out here, and there's a picture of his race rig right next to it, and it's just cool.
So for our listeners,
Well, all the way around, not to interrupt you, but you flip your head around and the camera around, there's money stapled to the wall.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have anything to tag, so they
Right
pulled
on
out
a
a bill,
dollar bill,
wrote
yeah.
on the thing, and stapled it to the wall.
Yeah.
well, for our listeners that want to experience Grandpa's Garage, they definitely have an opportunity coming up over Memorial Day weekend. We'll have our Modern Jeeper adventure here in Moab, Utah again. And Danny's kind enough to open up the garage for us, and we're actually going to have dinner out here one night during that adventure. So, yeah, if you're not signed up and you want to make a trip out to Moab and experience Grandpa's Garage, that's a good way to come
It's
see
a great
it.
opportunity, and the wheeling during that weekend is great. It may be one of the busiest weekends in Moab ever, but it's not the busiest weekends on the trails.
Right.
So it makes it a great time to get out there and wheel.
Take a moment to back up a little bit.
Sure.
The most questioned thing that's been tagged here in the garage is over the bathroom door. There's a pair of men's briefs, underwear.
Slightly torn.
He's in the shower, And he's taking forever, and they're lined up here, and they're knocking on it, get the hell, get out the hell. So he slipped those on, wasn't finished drying off and everything, and he come out here, and he's wet and trying to dry. I had the propane heater. He backed his butt up to it and was drying off and caught the underwear on fire. Oh! So he ripped it off. He ran out to the water hose and put the fire out, and now he's really wet and cold. But anyway, he's like, okay, I'm gonna.
That's funny.
That's
funny.
There's a story to everything in that place. But anyway, I thought that'd be funny.
I kept looking around to see if there were any bras put up, because it's usually what ends up in a place like this.
Club from we have children and kids.
Sure, it's family friendly.
It's family friendly.
Yeah. But over on the work side of the garage, over under all my brooms and dustpans, there's a pair of panties that is 4 feet wide and about 2.5 feet tall. That it was the club's, we call them boo-boo bells or screw up. If you've done something silly, stupid, you had to fly these giant panties and tell the next person.
That's great.
Whatever.
That's great.
But I went off and left them here camping in their night here. I come back, these things are spread out on my table with a picture of 8 women inside of them.
Oh boy.
So you can imagine, visualize all one pair of panties with 8 women in them.
Wow. There's a bottle hanging up here, I just noticed. Just hanging randomly off of
Somebody wrote on it and hung it up there.
Yeah.
There's a bottle over there with all the beads around it, and it's written on.
Yeah.
And it's in a language that I don't know what it says, but very suggestive. And like I say, after safari, I walk around and go, "Ooh, that wasn't there." But
Yeah, where'd that get here? Yeah.
Yeah, a Coors can with something on it, sitting on the hot water heater, and it's fun because they come back and look for that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So now, this has been great. And I think it's been a great thing, but we want to go on. We have our tech tip of the week. And since we're here, we didn't really talk about what our tech tip of the week is going to be this week, but you've got so much that comes through here in this garage. If I was to ask you this question, what is the number one thing you think a four-wheeler doesn't do that puts him in the garage after his trip? Like
preventive maintenance.
I actually was just looking at a sign that's on the wall behind me where I'm sitting, and Danny's got a Jeep Wrangler fluid capacities laminated sign on the door. It's that preventive maintenance side of things. We go out on the trail, we wheel hard, and we've all been there where the brakes are failing, the transmission doesn't shift right. Fluid capacities, that's huge, and it's something so simple, and nobody does it.
Well, the tech tip would be that I give to them is they come in and their rear wheel bearings are pouring oil all over the brakes. And I go, well, is it full? Oh, yeah, I filled her right up to... No, on your particular axle, it takes either 4 liters or 4 quarts. How many did you put in? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I just
filled
put
it
some
up.
in there. It's full.
Yeah.
fill it until it's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's another beauty of this garage, though, is that you can come here, and if Danny's around, I mean, you give advice, right?
Yeah.
You don't wrench, but you give advice. And
It's one man's opinion. But if you
right.
don't want to know, don't ask me because I'm going to tell you.
right.
Well, that's one thing that's, having been around the industry and wheeling and doing that so many years of your life, yeah, you've seen a couple of things come through here, and it turns out you have a pretty good idea of how to fix something. You may not have ever done it before, but you've seen it done. So, yeah, there's that kind of knowledge is great.
What is
the
the most...
fun thing too here is the camaraderie of you got to fix it yourself, but then you have the Monday morning quarterbacks. Why'd you do it that way?
Right.
And then the hecklers.
Yeah, there's the full gamut of the...
And for the ha-ha thing is I had a chair out there and I was sitting there and I'd go, when you pull that Model 20 or 30 transfer case, be aware that they're rolling bearings or needles. They're not in a case. They're going to go everywhere. Get me a beer. Oh, yeah, you don't torque down the nuts on the front hub, you tighten them, back them up, and give me a beer. And I thought I was being funny. I turned around to the bench, and full beers are stacked in a pyramid. No, that's just funny. Put me back.
Well, and you just recently, one of the things I was thinking about, you just recently had a birthday, my friend.
Yes, I did.
Had a big party out here.
Yes.
There's a giant throne that they actually built for you out there.
And all the friends here and the people are here totally 100% surprised me.
That's pretty impressive in your
They
own place.
had people that would keep me busy. The GFI, my motorhome lost electricity. I'd be out front.
Oh, really?
And then Richard Winchester from BF Goodrich, he got in the toy room in there. He's been in there 50 times. And he was like, Danny, I didn't know all this was in here. And then he's blocking the door. He got me back to the window. And then I'd talk and get ready to walk out. And he'd go, well, tell me about the Jeepsters, or tell me about the flat fenders and all that. And finally I said, get out of the way.
I want to get out of my room here.
As soon as I stepped out, the garage door blew open, confetti everywhere, and happy birthday. It brought a tear to my eye. It was just 100%. I'm 3/4 of a century old now.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
75 years, and they give you a throne. Describe that. Who built that, and what was the...
Durham Motorsports. Chris Durham, we've been friends for a long time. And his partner, Travis, they put that together. And the ha-ha of it, I helped them unload the skeleton off of the trailer.
Oh, that's funny.
Laid in the front yard. Everybody had come by, what is this? And I go, I don't know. Open a beer, we stand around, well, it could be this, it could be that. And all Travis would say is, belongs to Durham. It's probably something he's going to put in the booth at the show. And well, I think it's a chair. I think it's a wagon. I think it's this. There's leaf springs up. But we never seen it all together.
Wow.
And that's how they kept me occupied while they were in the front, bolting all this stuff on.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, that's just a testament to you, to your life, and to what you've done, and how you've treated people. That they want to treat you.
And so we're sitting here having a conversation with Grandpa Danny Grimes, and in walks the man behind Raceline Wheels beadlock division, Greg Mulkey. Say hi, Greg.
Hey guys, what's going on in here? Council meeting or something?
Yeah, we're having a meeting of the minds.
We're building roads, stacking rocks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're just
By the
finishing.
way, it's 11:45, and what are you doing waking up and moving around already? You're early today.
I thought we agreed to talk about that in silence. It's just us close friends, not with a microphone in front of me.
Right.
But I'm in Moab, so I gotta get up and get early. We got wheeling to do.
That's right.
It's
That's
back. It's about lunchtime. Anybody in for lunch?
Man, we should probably
Let's take them all to lunch. Let's go.
Yeah, we got to do that. We also got we got a CTI trailer 1 to 6 today, so about right. But
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Work today.
Somebody's got to work today.
Got to
Gotta
put me to
work.
work.
So, well, hey, I would just want to say thank you, Danny, for this privilege, for the stories, for letting us be here, for, as I was saying, for being who you are, because that birthday, the party, everything, it was just testimony to who you are, the life you've led, and what you've brought to this off-road industry. Because I do believe, and I sincerely believe this, without you here, the environment of Eastern Jeep Safari amongst all of us would be different. Because I think we'd be a lot more headbutting and a lot less friendships and hanging out and really trying to enjoy this after the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, and I have some I would like to say. Eastern Jeep Safari and Moab and what goes on here, I am only one spoke in the wheel. It's a group effort.
Right.
And to wrap it up, I tell everybody, come back when you can stay longer.
Yes.
There you go.
That's
Perfect.
it. Come back when you can stay longer. Well, thank you, Danny, again. It's been another great Modern Jeeper show. Corey, we had a fantastic time. This was a great idea to come out here and talk with Danny. We got a lot more to do this week. Any final parting thoughts from you?
No, if you haven't been to Moab, come out, come see it, come take part in what this whole off-road thing's about in Moab, Utah.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to come out and do it. It's got to be a bucket list item. Modern Jeeper Adventures. You can come out and join us, or come do it with your friends. And also part of Eastern Jeep Safari. You can come out and be a part of that. You have to do that. As always, you can find us at Modern Jeeper Adventures. You can find us at ModernJeeper.com, ModernJeeperAdventures.com, ModernJeeperForum.com, Corey on Facebook, me on Facebook, Metal Cloak, and of course, Greg, who just walked in here, is one of our great supporters of Modern Jeeper Raceline. We've always been very, very appreciative of their support, and make sure to reach out to them if you need anything.
Absolutely. We always got wheels for everything that they need.
There you
Got
go.
tires on it.
There you go.
Always keep the dirty side down on the trail and always be safe. Number one.
That's right.
Perfect.
All right, Modern Jeepers, we'll see you on the rocks.
Cheers.